Guys, welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm E.
Indeed.
And today we're going to talk about the last episode of season 8 of the Real Housewives of Potomac, episode 18. This episode is called An Iconic Ending. And boy, oh boy, we had a lot of things happening here. I don't know. I think they had to make up for the first 17 episodes,
Yeah.
basically, because this was a lot. So we're going to read our favorite Vulture articles, see what the author has to say, and of course, we're going to provide you our opinions.
So this is by Shamira Ibrahim, who's been, I believe, doing every single one of the recaps. And her headline reads, Real Housewives of Potomac season finale recap, much ado about nothing.
Hmm.
Um, that probably sounds like a much more fitting title. Real Housewives of Potomac is in an unsettling state, trapped in a lingering shadow of the fight between Candace and Monique. In the season since a wine night at a barn went horribly wrong, the cast has been retracing the same steps with very little forward progress. A major conflict occurs, the women are shaken up by the incident, people retreat to their respective camps to take sides, and uneasy truth is accepted that comes with a mutual vow of silence. This has been the roller coaster for quite some time. The scourge known as Michael Darby gets drunk and aggressive with Chris while threatening lawsuits. Ashley immediately invokes Monique's name and claims Candace is upholding a bizarre double standard. Mia loses her temper, throws a drink, and tries to fight Wendy. Wendy's mistreatment of the group by the group in the wake of the fight immediately sends Candace spiraling, triggered by memories of how she felt maligned after Monique threatened to drag her and followed up on that threat. Now, Deborah causes a ruckus with Candace that leads to Kiarna getting stitches, and the cast is consumed with analyzing it as part of a greater context involving Candace instead of recognizing it as a former friend of the cast completely losing control because she attempted to make a big show out of her return, was embarrassed by not getting the reaction she wanted, and let her pride take over. Here's the timeline of events as I can best piece it together from the collective recountings, audio, and leaked footage that floated around social media. Deborah walked up to Candace to confront her after cameras went down. Candace was understandably disinterested in engaging with the woman who attempted to spread rumors about her husband and made that clear by dismissing her several times. Deborah attempted to throw a drink at Candace. Kiarna pushed Deborah back to create space, and Deborah threw her glass cup, hitting Kiarna square in the forehead, leading her to need 11 stitches. Kiarna immediately addressed the slight with her fist, while Candace grabbed a bottle and was restrained by Charisse. As Kiarna and Deborah were exchanging blows, another friend of Ashley's in a yellow dress yanked Kiarna by her hair, pulling Kiarna and Deborah down to the ground. As Karen points out, this melee seemed intentional and attention seeking from Ashley's friend group. None of this should have escalated as far as it did, and Deborah should not have even had access to the group on that level. Ashley, rightfully embarrassed that her event fell into disaster, can't decide whether to admonish Deborah for her behavior or believe her version of the events, which blames Candace for escalating the situation by writing checks her mouth couldn't cash. Another instance of the remnants of the Monique fight rearing their ugly head. Robin, who wasn't there, is convinced that Kiarna got caught up fighting someone else's battle, even though Kiarna has repeatedly stated, and it is captured on video, that she didn't start getting violent until Deborah hit her with glass. The fallout over the fight reverberates at the showcase of the cast photo shoot. In a throwback to season 5, now it is Karen, not Giselle, walking around with security as if Deborah would ever be welcome to an all-cast call time ever again. And instead of commenting on the quality of the photos or lack thereof, especially when it came to Robin's Mariah and Mia's Foxy Brown, guests can only gossip about the fight. Candace's sister confronts Ashley over her friend's behavior. Giselle's stylist, Cal, states that Candace should be able to deal with what happens after, a perplexing claim coming from someone who wasn't there to witness what happened. Charisse is walking around with a boot, her foot injury re-aggravated from restraining Candace. The cast is gossiping about how Deborah continued to antagonize the situation the next morning instead of expressing any level of remorse. It finally sinks in for Ashley that her friends were the ones to ruin her big night, and she claims that she is putting her friendship and any future playdates with Deborah on pause, although, given the progress of her divorce, who knows what that actually means with Ashley. So before we continue with the rest of this portion of the recap, what did we think so far of the whole fight? If that's what we're gonna call it, I guess.
I think that was such a disaster. I was holding my breath. Like I didn't think I thought it was going to be like one of those cliffhangers, and then as soon as you see, the next episode is going to, fizzle out and they
Yeah.
hype me up for nothing. No,
Yeah.
I kind of held my breath all throughout the episode. I'm like, I
Me
can't believe all these things transpired.
too.
Like Candace is always out of pocket. She might have not started the fight, but it doesn't help when she's calling people the help
Yeah.
or, these other names that antagonize people. You could have just ignored her. And, what was she going to do? Now this looks bad on Candace. She didn't start it, but she antagonized it. And this whole snowball effect of Kiarna getting stitches, which I think is nuts. Like, how violent are Ashley's friends? Then
Right.
Candace holding a bottle, I thought that, they were being hyperbolic. Candace is, you know, how the housewives are.
Yeah.
But then when she confirmed that she was holding a champagne bottle to defend herself, well, that optics, of course, doesn't make her look okay. And I'm just shocked that everything that happened. I don't know why Ashley is questioning whether she's going to hang out with Deborah or not. Girl, your friend ruined your event, your fashion show, then continue to say out of pocket things on Twitter or X or whatever it's called these days. Like,
Mhm.
friendship's over.
Oh,
Like,
right.
what's the question here at this point? Charisse walking with a boot, like, this is a disaster.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I thought it was stupid. I thought
Oh
the
my.
whole thing was stupid. These are supposed to be grown women and they resort to this. And I thought what Cherie said to Candace, I think was like the most poignant. It's like, you're better than this. Like, what? Because because the thing is, whether Candace is better than this or not, and it's honestly questionable,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, the whole situation, like, we're all better than this. And the cast, the fans of Potomac deserve better than this. So it was
Sure.
stupid. It was stupid because we know that Ashley is messy. We know Ashley is a chaos demon. Ashley herself admitted that she knew there was tension bubbling, and yet she still invited Deborah. Ashley's not an idiot. She knew exactly what she was doing. You're not going to sit there and tell me you don't know your friend. You want to pretend like, oh no, we just have play dates. I didn't know that side of her. Oh, okay. Really? Then what did you think was going to happen with this tension that was bubbling? Like, she was just going to be like, hi, how are you? Be fake?
Well, they
Uh,
are typically fake, so that wouldn't surprise me at all.
But the thing is, the housewives are fake. These are
Mhm.
outside people.
Yeah.
These are outside people who shouldn't have that sort of access to the housewives. Because at the end of the day, the housewives are not just regular people. When they are filming, they are part of a cast and they should be protected.
Mhm.
So I agree that Candace says and does things that she can't back up. I agree that Candace is always a major problem, but there's no reason why it should have been allowed. I get that the production stopped filming or whatever, but even still, this is your talent. You protect your talent.
True.
There's still no reason that it should have even gotten that far, because I thought they had learned after the whole, Monique fiasco. And granted, those are fights between the cast members, but still, I thought they learned from that. So I thought that, like, Ashley, in the span of 10 minutes that they're at this little party for the magazine, in the span of 10 minutes, she goes, "What? She's my friend, and I believe her." And da da da. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put a pause on the friendship. In the span of 10 minutes, it's stupid. Like, it is clearly stupid. It's all for show. She
Mhm.
knew what she was doing. I don't think she I don't think she should be necessarily blamed for the actions of Bigfoot, Sesame Street, whatever they call her. But at
They
the
don't
end of,
call it Bigfoot.
I don't know, Big Bird. That's what I was
Grover?
thinking.
Grover, was it?
I
One
guess,
of them.
but even still, like, Deborah's not a housewife. What did y'all expect? Did she double down the next day? Yeah, regular people do that. Is
Mhm.
that shocking? No, it's not shocking. Candace lying and saying I didn't antagonize her, also a lie. We heard her calling her the help. I didn't hear the vermin or whatever part, but I heard her say the help. So
Yeah.
it's stupid. It's so stupid. And the faux outrage by Wendy. Oh my God, I can't believe. Girl, sit your ass down. Like, what did you do? What did you do to help your friend? Because Kiarna is the one who tried to create the space and ended up getting with the stitches. Kiarna is the real OG of like this whole thing right there. She's the real MVP in this whole situation because the girl was just trying to make space and then things happened to her trying to be the one protecting these people who Candace doesn't deserve that protection from Kiarna. Wendy didn't do it. Sharice didn't do it.
Well, she
Neka didn't. They held her back. But even still, it's like, what was Candace gonna do? Candace is a chihuahua. She's all bark.
why a chihuahua?
Because she's all bark.
She
Candace is,
is.
she will fight you. She will go so low and insult you till it hurts your core, but she will never act on any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm,
Like,
mm-hmm.
when they said she was holding a champagne bottle, I was like, to do what? Like, cry? Wipe her tears with the bottle? I don't know. Like, what was she gonna do?
Damn, slash, slash.
I just thought it was I thought it was really stupid. I thought the whole thing was really stupid. And I agree with Giselle. Giselle being angry, she had every right to be angry. That was their event and it completely went
The shit.
to hell. Yeah, granted it may not have been the best event, but for them, for their whole thing, it was successful. And for it to like be marred by that sort of behavior, and then I don't know if it was Wendy or somebody who was like, I don't know what kind of friends Ashley has. You call yourself Ashley's friend. What kind of friend are you then? Like, I don't get it. I'm just very confused. And then also, I don't think it's fair to say that if, like, let's say, for example, this very situation, she's having a showcase. I don't think it's fair to say that her real friends should not attend. That's also not like a fair, thing to do. If it's supposed to be like her whole event, her whole thing, why wouldn't she want her family and her friends to support her real friends? Granted, should she have checked her friends? Yeah,
Maybe she
because
did.
I don't think she did.
I'm trying to
Ashley's
give
not.
her the benefit of the doubt because you are
Ashley's not.
over there just butchering all the housewives.
Do you or do you not tell me to chill the f out before we go somewhere in case there's
I
somebody I
really
don't?
do. Guys, if you're best friends with D, you have to give her disclaimers. You got to tell her, fix your RBF, be nice. You have to tell her all these things. And then you have to check on her occasionally.
Occasionally, but I still behave. I still but the thing is, you know your friends.
Yeah.
Like, you know how they will act.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this is the first time you're inviting these people to an event, shame on you for not knowing the type of behavior that they're gonna bring, and also shame on you for not at the very least saying, hey, keep this at the door. If you want to do something, do it outside.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to do this here, like, it just I don't really think that I don't really care what Deborah looks like. If she looks bad and all this, I don't care. That's not the point. We're here for
Yeah.
the housewives.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, the housewives, disappointing.
But
Complete.
I think that this whole fight was stupid. Just
Yeah.
the premise of the fight. Because what hers what's his name? Chris? She's
Chris.
saying that Chris flirted with her. That was like what, a season or two ago? Like, why
Yeah.
is she mad right now? Because people call her Sesame Street? Girl, that's your face. We can't do nothing about it. I know. That sounds kind of mean, guys. But how many times do we get called names and things like that? That doesn't mean that you have to react.
Yeah.
And she's an adult, Deborah, or maybe not. in this case. She's an
Yeah.
adult. She should know how she should conduct herself. If she was really Ashley's friend, she knew that she needed to pipe down. Like, this
Yeah.
was not the time or the place to have a fight. I don't think it's necessarily Ashley's fault. Did she check her? Who knows? But I would think that my friends have enough common sense, warnings or not, to not do this big spectacle. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, they should have been protected. You said it right. The cast, it is their moneymaker. Nobody should infiltrate in that way.
Yeah. That's something that I think production completely failed in, and I think production has messed up so many times this season. This is probably like one of the more egregious of the times that like they've messed up.
And
Because
NECA, is this the same time? Yeah, because they were at the photo shoot. NECA said it best also. She was like, the best thing Deborah could have done is just ignore these people and act like a bad bitch. That would have pissed them off more. I'm like, NECA, you throw your dimes here and there because, you're very touch and go for me. But Charisse saying what she said to Candace and NECA saying that in the confessional was golden for
yeah,
this episode.
they were the only ones with common sense in this whole like debacle, aside from
Yeah.
Giselle. Like they were the only ones with like some common sense. Like that, it was just so dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue. There's an attempt to garner an uneasy peace that largely falls flat. So flat. It's difficult to buy a group toast when Ashley is still attempting to cast blame on Candace instead of simply seeing the fault in bringing volatile women looking for attention to an all cast event. And too many women are open to hearing out Deborah's version of events for comfort. The women attempt to make a gesture to Giselle's family distresses. She looks genuinely scrambled over her father's health, and rightfully so. The closing screens for the cast, however, reveal just how little happened this season. Wendy is hoping her YouTube venture sticks. Ashley is still not divorced. Robin's facial business still hasn't opened. Candace is planning on taking us even deeper into space. Karen got more plastic surgery. These are not season ending arcs. They are quick updates you tell your girlfriends over brunch.
Mm-hmm.
So, whew, okay. The, before we get to this next part, because this next part is it's
Disturbing.
rough. It's rough.
Mm-hmm.
What did we think of those little updates? Because I was like, I thought the same thing. Like, what? What?
Well, the updates were given like around the 30-minute mark because I was like, well, is that it? Like, so I checked the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that was a little off because previous episodes, I'm a creature of habit, guys. When we see those little snippets, that means it's over.
Over, yeah.
So their updates were sucky for the
Mhm.
most part. I think NECA's was pretty good. I
Yeah,
mean, good but not good. We saw
yeah,
her left journey. It said that it's not successful. We see towards the end the one thing Giselle shares about her family. Unfortunately, her dad passed away, so that's a resolution. Karen Gary getting more plastic surgery. That's like her eating lunch every day. Like, we know she's gonna do this. Like, that's nothing. Ashley not divorced. She's been trying to divorce Michael Darby for like what, 6 seasons at this point. We know she ain't gonna do it. She ain't gonna do it. So why are we even talking about? Actually, in season 9, I do not want to hear about Ashley's divorce because she's not gonna do it. You're just wasting my time.
hmm
Mia's a hot mess. Robin, she doesn't know about budgets, so I have nothing to say about her.
um. Okay, so clearly, again, the production, they know exactly what they're doing to these women. That little, thing for Wendy, she's hoping it sticks. This one sticks. They know what they've been doing.
Yeah.
And they're and that leads me to believe that Wendy's in on it, because you should feel disrespected by that. As an intelligent woman, as an accomplished woman as Wendy is, you should feel disrespected by that. That is how they're treating you. You're made to look like a fool, basically. You should definitely feel disrespected about that, and I wouldn't be surprised if there'd be an announcement within the next couple of days that she's also not coming back. for the next season, which we'll talk about that a little bit later.
But we've mentioned it too. Like, we didn't like the way that they were presenting Wendy. She's had the candles, she's had the business with Peter Thomas. I think she wanted to be Martha Stewart at one point. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, Wendy is, again, a very intelligent woman, very accomplished, has her 7 degrees. I don't know how many she says she has at this point. And then for Potomac staff to make her look so dumb in this aspect, I think it's disrespectful to me.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why they don't be like, hey, yo, change the narrative. Like, I'm not that dumb. Robin is, but not Wendy.
Let's let it go. Oh my God.
What?
Okay, to the uncomfortable part.
Mm.
Mia Thornton, however, is unwilling to go down without a fight. As soon as news of her separation went public, the Thorntons allowed cameras back into their home, giving viewers insight into a marriage that has fully fallen into disarray. Gordon is living full-time in North Carolina, only coming up on occasion for childcare. Not only have Mia and Gordon separated, but Gordon immediately reached out to the men of the cast, Mia's castmates, and TMZ about the situation, calling her a gold digger, a claim made all the more ironic by the revelation that Mia was regularly sending him money during the separation so that he could remain financially afloat. According to Mia, if money were her driving concern, she would have left years ago when her husband was indulging in strip clubs and other excesses. A curious claim from a former stripper, but nonetheless insightful as to the ups and downs of their relationship. Gordon admits to being flexible with opening up the marriage after his bout with cancer, but accuses Mia of being in a 10-year affair with her high school sweetheart, a radio personality by the name of Ink. Yes, Ink. Mia admits to an affair with him before they got married, resulting in a timeline that leaves open questions about the paternity of her eldest son, and reveals that Gordon once locked her in a room and took away her phone after monitoring their phone bill once Mia started wearing less and going out more. Depending on when you ask, it is not the infidelity that has Gordon incensed, but who Mia is associating with, and the fact that she not only failed to be discreet, but let the kids get involved. We're being thrown into a roller coaster of information. It is complete whiplash from the fairly taciturn approach Kyle Richards has taken to addressing her marriage's decline. Instead of telling us that this fiasco is not our business, Mia invited us all into all of her business and is letting us come to our own conclusions. It is a bold and chaotic approach that highlights her strength as a housewife. Mia Thornton may not have the deepest fidelity to the truth, but she is here to deliver, and I can only respect that and acknowledge her high potential in helping deliver Potomac from the abyss of intractability in the seasons to come. As she says in the closing moments of the season, the life I'm living is now what God intended for me. And if there's one thing I can 100% believe about Mia Thornton, it's that she is dead set on freeing herself from any situation that does not particularly serve her anymore. That rash of selfishness paired with her penchant for chaotic storytelling is why she is destined to succeed on reality television, even as the rest of the cast around her fails, or actually flails. I absolutely love this assessment, but you go ahead.
For, I had a problem with this. This was 15 minutes long because here, again, I'm
Yes.
looking at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't like that we see this progression. And obviously, we knew that they split up because, hey, this is like delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, throughout the whole season, it seems like they're working it out, going to therapy, talking, dating each other. And then to be whiplash the last 15 minutes of episode 18, what the hell? That was so much to digest that I couldn't even, I can't even, I don't know how to explain it. But I was having a real conundrum because these are things that we discuss. How much to share on Housewives? It's your responsibility to share, you know, your whole life. But in this instance, it felt so intimate. Like, I shouldn't be knowing these things. I felt kind of gross, to be honest. It's so many things that go on in a marriage, in a relationship, that people don't need to know about. If we
Yeah.
see Mia and Gordon down the line together, well, now we know about the cancer. He let her have a side piece, about the paternity of the kid. Too much. Like,
Yeah.
do you want that undue stress in a relationship if you decide to get back? I don't think she will, but I'm just throwing it out there. It doesn't make sense to me. Now, everything that is going on there, the cancer, ink, the affairs, I think Gordon had his time to shine and Mia did not say a word.
No.
Like she couldn't refute any of these things, which unfortunately makes me look at Mia in a different light. I think, if you're going to do what you got to do it. But I think Gordon probably had a point when it was like, I told you to be discreet and I told you to keep the kids out. And I think that's something minimally that she should have abided by, that those two little requests.
Yeah.
So, you know, to me, it seemed very money hungry. I'm like, you're doing this for money. Like, is that worth it? Like, did you talk to your child before doing all these things? Like, now there's just a whole leap of repercussions to all of these things. How people see you. Do people want to do business with you? How the
Mm-hmm.
kids being kids, talking to your kids. Like, there's just so many things. And I don't think it was right for us to watch it. I'm not saying that I agree about the way Gordon treats her, because taking away my phone, putting me in timeout, no sir, I would have
Yeah.
kicked you. I'm not condoning violence, but
Right.
this was a bit much. I don't know. I really didn't like it. I thought it was gross. What about
I
you?
I feel like I definitely looked at her different with the revelation about the paternity of one of her kids, primarily because you do what you want to do with your life, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
But your child is blameless in all of this, and now they're going to have I think they said the child is what, 10 or 11. They're going to have their little friends coming up to them like, "Oh, who's your dad? Who's your
yeah,
dad?" So that's, to me, and it's something that, I've learned through my friends, I've learned through just like, it's common sense. When you have a child, your child is your priority. Protecting them and what filters into their minds, that should, be the most important thing.
mhm,
I don't think that what Gordon asked was for too much. I
yeah,
really don't. Given the circumstances, the fact, hey, if you want to have an open marriage, have an open marriage. But I agree that there should be parameters in place, and that, it looks like, is what they agreed to. And she completely walked it back and she broke those two compromises. I
yeah,
think Gordon has the right to be upset. Does he deserve to treat her the way he treats her? No, I don't. Yeah, I think the whole phone thing's childlike. Locking her up, that's childlike. I think that he's an older man, and he seems to just want to keep her in his life. And it's sad. And I agree that Mia should be allowed to also find love on her own, have her own life. But it seems like this person, this boyfriend of hers, has always been on the periphery. Like, he's
yeah,
never really not been there. So it's like, this whole season you've just been lying to us. You've just been pretending like you're trying to work things out.
yeah,
No real intention of it, it seems. And so I feel like she continues to put the blame on Gordon, and the fact that he keeps wanting, to continue with this lawsuit against his family and all that. And then that he went through some depression and everything. Ma'am, you marry somebody, it is through sickness and in health, for rich or for poor, and you're choosing to break these vows. Granted, he may have opened the marriage, y'all may have opened the marriage, whatever. There are still certain aspects of the marriage that I would have thought, you would stick to. But how can you stick to those things when your side piece has been in the picture this whole time in the background? Like, that
yeah,
doesn't really make sense. So, yeah, same thing. I mean, why be reckless with it? Like, why? And then you spend the entire season basically gaslighting all of us, thinking that you're over here trying to be a decent housewife, trying to do the right thing. and little by little dropping these breadcrumbs, trying to paint Gordon into this negative picture. I'm sorry, he doesn't fully come out looking like he's the toxic one. Honestly, you both seem toxic.
Yeah.
And it's not a one-sided thing. When yeah, when she talked about the paternity, I think that was like the moment I just like gasped out loud, and I was just like, okay, that's a little much, because you're messing with the kids here. The kids
Yeah.
who believe that this is their father. Like, and now you're bringing this other man into their lives. I don't know. That just rubbed me the wrong way.
Her Vulture article also said, according to Mia, if money was her driving concern, she would have left years ago when her husband was indulging in strip clubs and other excess.
Mm-hmm.
So, ma'am, isn't that how you met him though? Like, Ashley was having the same problem. Like her and Michael Darby were out there having fun, having people join them. I'm trying not to be that explicit and, doing whatever they do. Then
Yeah,
Ashley became a mom. She didn't want to do those things no more. But hey, Michael Darby was Michael Darbying. He still
yeah,
wanted that fun.
yeah,
So I feel like Mia can't get mad at Gordon for doing those things because that's the way she met him. I don't think she put those guidelines, hey, we're not going to do this anymore,
yeah.
because the money was free flowing.
Right, right.
The problems really seem to have started when there was money issues. I mean, the problems seem to have started when there was money issues.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think my last little gem here, because I feel like we've been dropping gems this whole episode, by the way. Y'all are welcome, guys. Um, when you open a door, you can't always close it. And you both opened a door,
Mm-hmm.
and neither one of you can actually like, Gordon tried to close it. Gordon tried to lock her up, literally. That didn't work out. Mia claims that, she was trying to work through things. She was trying to work on the marriage, right? But you're still messing with somebody else, ma'am. You can't
Yeah.
work on your marriage if you're still involved with someone else. You can't,
Mm-hmm.
like, those,
Yeah,
you
both.
walk through these doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you can't unwalk through them. Like, it's done. And so that to me is a big issue that I think she's trying very hard to paint herself in a certain kind of light, and it's not working, ma'am. It's just
It's
not.
but on that note, you should start out like you should hold out, like you can hold out. I mean,
Yeah,
because the way you start, you got to keep it going. So if that wasn't what you wanted, you should have said so.
yeah, it's very true. All right, so as usual, let's wrap up with the quick season rankings for the cast. Karen gets a 7 out of 10. She gamely attempted to keep the plot moving forward, and although she wasn't successful, she looked good fighting. That said, I hope she's ready to face the fire next season with her recent DUI charges. There's no room for caginess and evasive antics anymore. Facts. Wendy, 4 out of 10. I understand that she had a hard season with the confrontational plot lines involving her and her family, but she handles those instances in a manner that is inadequate of her fourth season as a housewife. The longer she is on the show, the more uncomfortable she seems to become with the cameras. She needs to relax and find another way to open up with the fans that isn't promoting a new business, or work on her other on air talent aspirations away from Bravo. Ashley, 4 out of 10. Ashley didn't get divorced, barely launched a clothing line, hosted one of the worst trips in housewife history, and was afraid to open up about her dating life. At this point, she is only on the show to agitate the cast and deflect from the fact that she has very little going on right now, financially or otherwise. She needs to find something engaging to share or be open to reducing her role to friend of. Candace, 5 out of 10. It has been hard to watch Candace this season. The cast dynamics sent her into tailspin after tailspin. Not wanting to move forward with someone who you think is harmful for you is natural, but it is also bad TV. Candace is unable to make peace with the fact that, as time has passed, her reluctance to close the book on her conflicts with Giselle and Robin make her the aggrieved party in an unbecoming way, and her inability to regulate her emotions and conflicts makes her look more like a brat than someone with a substantive issue. She has her entertaining moments, but if she is unable to find a path forward after this reunion, perhaps it's time to look into her next steps.
Haven't we
Just
been saying this though?
exactly.
Haven't we been saying this?
It, yes. Like,
Yeah.
mi- yes, exactly. Anyway, Giselle, 2 out of 10. Giselle thought she was making the ultimate power play this season by refusing to engage with the cast positively or negatively, but it just made her sullen and uninterested. I cared for half a second when she was dating again, but that curiosity came and went faster than Wendy's business ideas. Her kids are headed to college now. If she is no longer interested in creating mess on the show, she needs to show us a side of her thriving single life that is compelling. Robin, 1 out of 10. Words cannot express just how little I care about her miserable marriage. If the show is adding so much stress to her newlywed bliss, perhaps she can resolve the issue for everyone and focus on protecting her marriage and leaving the camera behind. Asking you shall receive. We'll get to that
Hmm.
in a little bit. Mia, 8 out of 10. I have already given the woman her praises, but she truly stepped up and tried to deliver compelling material as well as engage with all of the cast. She continues to perplex and amaze me with all of her twists and turns, from the personal and emotional to the financial and fantastical. And I have a feeling that her post-marital era will be her most exciting journey yet. She is made for this.
Yeah.
Completely agree. NECA, your fave, 5 out of 10. Nneka wasn't given much of a chance to flourish. So much of her story was embroiled in a back and forth with Wendy that we weren't properly introduced to her and her family. It's unfortunate because the scenes with her sister were probably some of her most entertaining, but we ended up so consumed with the shrine of it all that we were rarely able to dig deeper into what she had to offer.
Ditto.
Cherise, 6 out of 10. We got the perfect amount of Charisse this season, and I wouldn't change a thing. She's just not that compelling on camera, and that's fine. But she is a critical piece of to integrating the group. Also, she is owed her moment next season to Crow and Karen's face about her behavior with alcohol, given the recent news. And finally, Kiarna, 7 out of 10. She is a welcome breath of fresh air, open to relationships with all the women, and gorgeous to boot. Would love to see her develop on another season. We made it through another season, folks. I can't say it was enjoyable, but I am glad we all endured it together. Enjoy the reunion.
Holy moly.
Okay, so I would like for us to give our final thoughts on the season so then we can go into the news that we've heard this week and what's coming up next.
Our thoughts for the season? Disappointing, except the last episode, which the first 17 episodes, they gave me nothing of substance. Episode 18, they gave me 45 minutes of like wham, wham, kablam. I'm still digesting it. I need to rewatch it. That was not fair to just drop all that. And Andy, as we've seen like little snippets of the reunion, he is saying basically the same thing we say. Y'all need to make up because this is not good TV. I was like,
Yep.
yes, Andy, say that. Because Giselle and this Candace thing, well, now we know. I'll let you deliver the news.
Yeah.
This, division in the group it's a no for me, dog.
I don't
It's
think I
a
could have said any better myself. To have to spend nearly an hour, 17 episodes with these
18.
no, 17
Oh, okay.
up until the finale. For 17 episodes, having to spend nearly an hour with these women and just wanting it to be over.
True
I think
story.
indicative of how low Potomac has fallen, which is sad and disappointing because Potomac is our fave or one of our faves, and we always enjoy or have enjoyed their seasons. They give us one episode of actual compelling drama, even if some of it was so dumb and stupid, like I mentioned earlier. But the Mia and Gordon of it all made up for so much, as uncomfortable as it was to watch. It made up for so much that was lacking this season. And I completely agree with the Vulture article. Mia is made for this. She is the new face of Potomac. I can already see it because in the preview for the reunion, who
Has
It's
first
second
chair?
chair.
Oh, second
Well,
chair?
yeah. Well, first chair, I guess, on either side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mia and Karen. Not Karen and Giselle. Mia and Karen. And the fact that they've even moved Karen to the side where Giselle was is also, I think, a little telling. And Mia is holding court on her side. So it's not even like where you could say, oh, well, Giselle still. No, 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 no. They put Karen there because Giselle's not going to eclipse Karen. She could probably try to eclipse Mia, but she's not going to eclipse Karen. So they put Karen right next to her. Loved that for her. Those are my final thoughts on the season. Actually, one last thing. I should have known Mia was an ish when I saw her drinking wine out of a straw. That irks me so much. So much. When they were having their little peace talks, Mia
Yeah.
was in the background slurping. Like with a straw. A wine glass. That
I
looked to be wine.
I can't with you.
I was so disturbed. I didn't care what was going on. I just looked. A straw and wine.
Well, the news.
Okay, y'all, because I'm sure most of you should already know by now, but it was shocking to us, even though we've been saying this forever and ever now. Robin Dixon and Candace Dillard Bassett are not returning for the next season of Potomac. We've been telling y'all this. We've been telling you guys this from day one. Heads had to roll. And the rumor is, so far from what I've heard, Candace left on her own terms. She was not pushed out or anything like that. We haven't heard
Well,
on the rock.
technically she was.
Well, no, not necessarily. Like, I mean, granted, obviously the things that have happened, sure, but like the production, like the people had the ones in charge did not, push her
Yeah,
out.
but if the housewives have ostracized me for 18 episodes and treated me like crap, treated me like I'm not even there, hello, I gotta remove myself out of the situation eventually.
But then why did she even bother staying on this long? Why would she
I
have come back this last season considering how things went last one? So my whole point is, according to the rumors, she like is leaving on her own accord. Bravo did not, fire her. Bravo did not encourage her to quit or anything like that. This is all on Candace. I don't know much about Robin's reasons, and honestly, I don't care. We knew that somebody had to go, and well, it's not like Robin was really bringing anything to the table. This whole situation with Juan Dixon, if y'all have watched our other recaps, we didn't care for it. So I honestly thought it was going to be either Wendy, Giselle, Robin, or Candace, and two of them are gone. I would not be surprised if Wendy were to leave as well.
hmm
I can assume Giselle's gonna stay.
Giselle is a staple for Potomac, but I think even though I dislike Robin, like to my core, I think, and I hate to say this, I would rather Giselle leave because at least Robin, we get something. I mean, I don't want to hear about Juan Dixon, but we've gotten a couple of snippets of other things. It could be
Yeah,
like kids, it could be this glow thing. I
yeah,
remember we saw embellished ones when the pandemic was happening. I'm like,
yeah.
Giselle, we haven't gotten anything. I don't know what happened to her boo. He was there one episode and then disappeared. Like Giselle doesn't give us anything. And she's so stubborn and doesn't
Mhm.
want to engage with the cast. I just think she gotta go. She doesn't want to be there. It
I
seems.
agree. It does not look like she wants to be there. But
At least
here's the
Robin
thing.
is friendly with other people, or she tries to
Yeah,
be.
yeah. But here's the thing though. What is she gonna do if Candace is gone now? I mean, she gonna continue to beef with Wendy? What is there to beef about with Wendy at this point? Like,
She wants a friend. I think she's gonna apologize to Giselle for I don't know what at this point, and they're
yeah,
gonna be
for
cool.
sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
If this now means that Kiarna is going to be a main cast member, a main
That would be
housewife, this will be very interesting because she brings a different dynamic to the group.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's refreshing, and I think it's definitely something Potomac needs. And it will probably highlight the fact that we don't need Giselle anymore. That really Giselle should be the next one to go. And if Wendy doesn't change course and get these people to put some respect on her name, she should go too.
Mm. You said that.
Well, there were no cherry blossoms because obviously this was the finale. However, we're definitely recapping the reunions because we can't not do that. And what we've seen so far, the little previews of the reunion. Juan Dixon ain't there, shocker. Um, I mean, my partner was like, "Well, how do you know he's showing up?"
Well, Gordon is talking to Ink, which was like, what is going on?
Whiplash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I
Why
don't
is
think
Gordon
that's the
there
end of.
though?
I don't think that's the end of Gordon.
Why?
Mm.
Obviously, we know Ashley is still not divorced, and she is now rubbing this man's feet. I have zero faith in Ashley at this point. So if Ashley doesn't get her ish together, go ahead and let her go too, because we don't need this kind of energy anymore. Like it's ridiculous at this point.
And a lot of the comments that I've been reading want Ashley out, which I was really surprised. It's like she has nothing going on besides Michael Darby, which she can't discuss. We don't
Right.
see anything about her single life. Like what is she delivering? Nothing.
Nothing. No, nothing. Anyway, it's just so frustrating every time I think about it. It's like, dang it, girl, you had so much potential. You're just
You
the
do.
chaos demon of the show, and that's that.
Guys, let us know what you thought about episode 18. I know this was a catastrophe. It could be a beautiful catastrophe or just a regular one. I don't know. Was this entertaining? Was it whiplash? What do you think about Mia and Gordon and all their marital problems or the dissolution of their marriage right before our eyes? What do we think about Giselle not talking to nobody per usual? What do we think about this fight with Deborah, aka Sesame Street, aka Grover, aka I don't know what other nickname she has. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just repeating what they said.
Yeah.
I guess with Candace, can we have like the camera view from the place? Show us the clips. Like
Yeah,
nobody recorded this in the age of social media. No one
right,
recorded this fight. Give me
right.
something.
I agree.
But guys, let us know what you thought about that fight and everybody just spazzing about it. But yeah, that concludes today's episode. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our video. We're trying to grow our community so your friends can be our friends and we can all be friends. We also have social media, which Steele tell you about.
We're on TikTok and Instagram at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys like, follow, share, and comment. We also have a lot of our videos in podcast format. You can listen to it on YouTube Music as well as Spotify. We are getting everything together for Apple Podcasts as well.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace out. Love you.
Bye.